First time they investigated was in 1997.
But today, the majority of people I talked to said they're Obama supporters.
There are several police cars out here, and there's been a lot of police activity. You can see some of the buildings behind me now. Earlier today, those buildings were not visible from where we were at right now.
In a 7-page decision, a federal court of appeals says that red light cameras are legal.
You look behind me, you will not see that AIG sign lit up tonight. That's because it has been taken down. All warranties have been backed by a third-party company. Now that the contract has been approved, construction should start within the next couple of months.
They say they have a plan, but they won't go into specifics about exactly what that plan is.
Traffic is still moving pretty smoothly along I-40.
All of the money from Amarillo's red light cameras is designated for traffic safety and enforcement.
His head was found in a trash truck more than 3 years ago. Faith, you know, we had been enjoying a little bit of a lull in this storm, but just in the last 15 or 20 minutes or so, the winds have started to pick back up. Now, it has been snowing pretty consistently all day long. Now, if we can take a look at the ground here, you can see several inches of snow, and this has just been piling up all day long and will continue to do so throughout the night. Now, I'm told conditions should worsen all night. Now, the roads were okay earlier today. This morning, they were pretty icy, pretty bad. We've got some video we shot earlier, but TxDOT had spent all day clearing those roads, making them safe for drivers. We had seen a little bit of whiteout conditions earlier, but then the snow slowed a little bit, the wind slowed a little bit. But as we're seeing these conditions worsen again tonight, those roads are looking a little sketchy in some places right now. Now, most businesses were closed today. People took the day off, but there were some places that were open, gas stations, Walmart, United. We talked to some of those shoppers today and asked them why they would be out in this weather, and here's what they had to say.
I was already out anyway because I had to work, so just kind of get a few little things that we needed.
Well, we had to get some stuff for the grandkids, and we had to drive to Lee Forest to pick up our paycheck, so we drove out to Lee Forest and back.
Now, as we told you earlier today, there were some whiteout conditions made driving nearly impossible. I talked to the police earlier, and they said that they had a few minor accidents, nothing major, so that's definitely some good news for today. But again, as these conditions continue to worsen, some of the roads could get icy again. I'm told that Highway 60 between Pampa and Amarillo is still open, but I heard that travel between there was a little sketchy also. Whiteout conditions on that road, and again, it could get dangerous. Will get dangerous later on tonight. Faith?
Stephanie Phelps sat in her rocking chair and read a book to her daughter every night. Baby Katie was 3.5 months old at the time of the car accident that took her life. Her parents, only teenagers.
The first time you set eyes on her, I mean, that was that.
Katie was a surprise, but she was the sweetest little gift we could have ever gotten.
On November 17th, police say Stephanie Phelps ran a stop sign. After her car was hit, baby Katie's car seat was ejected. This is the intersection where the accident happened shortly after a woman drove by that Katie's grandfather only describes as an angel.
Immediately looking at her, I could tell that she was not breathing, and so I took her out of her car seat right away, and she did not have a heart rate, so I started CPR.
Right place, right time, right person. You see, Bridget Wiggs is a nurse at Northwest Texas Hospital. She works in neonatal ICU.
She was able to bring her back to life and keep her, therefore they were able to keep her alive for 12 to 24 hours so that we could donate Katie's heart.
Stephanie's organs were donated too.
I look at everything differently now, and you know, I just came home and just hugged my babies and cried, and I'm just really, you know, I think about how fragile life is.
If it saves another family from going through the torment that we went through, I can only imagine what they've gone through waiting for those organs. Stephanie and Katie don't need them anymore where they are. Somebody here needs them. They can live on through them.
The heart of all the organs carries more than just a physical, or does more than just a physical job. And I think the baby that got the heart not only got the organ, but it got 3.5 months worth of nothing but love.
And And these families are thankful for the time they had with Stephanie and Katie, thankful for the memories of the two lives cut too short. So even though Stephanie's rocking chair is empty, she and Katie live on through love. It was just another Sunday, another walk in the park for 10-year-old Zachary Castillo and his stepfather.
Well,
he was bored.
He was bored. I was bored, so I decided to come down here again.
And it was boredom that led to a discovery that officials are saying could be historically significant.
I felt like Indiana Jones.
The two were digging for arrowheads in the city park when they found some bones.
I started digging, and then I found like a hip bone and the joints or whatever.
I was hoping that it wasn't a person. I was hoping it was either a coyote or a hog. So that was my biggest fear. It would be a person.
But when Scott stumbled upon a skull nearby,
It rolled towards me.
his worst fears came true.
It's
I don't know.
kind of creepy.
We were just coming down to verify that it wasn't a hoax or something and that it was actually human remains.
I always figured it was a murder of some kind. So, yeah.
Were you scared?
I almost like passed out when I seen it because I stopped breathing for a few seconds.
Officials say the bones could be nearly 100 years old.
They appear to be very old. There are no clothing or hair or anything left of the remains. It's just strictly bone.
Right now, based on beads and tools found nearby, the bones are believed to be Native American. Zachary says he never found the arrowheads he was originally looking for.
We left a note there. Sherry, call Mom and Daddy. So she never did call.
These are the apartments 55-year-old Sherry Ann Mondragon called home, the last place she was seen.
My greatest fear is that they're holding her against her will and torturing her.
Her parents are exhausted from sleepless nights, tired of putting up flyers that get torn down.
I had 100 flyers printed.
Police say the longer Sherry's missing, the more alarming the situation becomes.
As recently as yesterday, Sergeant Kreisen had talked with someone that is an acquaintance of hers and didn't bring anything out of that interview that would help establish that she's gone voluntarily or that she's gone against her will.
Time just doesn't seem to go fast enough for them to find her,
Sherry's parents say it's out of the question she would leave voluntarily.
Sherry, please come home.
But police, not giving up on the investigation, say it's a possibility.
Sometimes adults decide that they want to go somewhere else for personal reasons, and it's certainly within their rights to do that.
He says there's no evidence of foul play, but there's no evidence of a voluntary disappearance either.
One of the first things the investigators will do would be to talk to all of her family, friends, boyfriends, exes, to find out who would do this, who could do something like this.
No, that's not her. She'd call, Mom, Daddy, I'm going wherever,
Sherry's father says her cell phone records show it hasn't been used in more than a month.
And they're off.
While the entire Panhandle celebrates Chip Willie's big win, no one is more proud than his parents, Ann and Ben.
I thought it was all over, and then they switched back to the front runners and switched back again, and here he was a-coming.
I just kind of went crazy. I was crying and laughing and jumping around and and now it's like you're just kind of numb, like it's still unbelievable.
The Woolies had planned to spend a quiet night at home with their grandson.
I thought it was maybe kind of possible, but improbable.
When this happened.
Then a spectacular upset.
I don't know. It's indescribable, really. It's just one of the highlights of my life.
And it's been nonstop phone calls ever since.
It has just been wonderful because everyone's so happy, and just to see how excited they are about it.
The odds were against Mind That Bird, 50-1, a number Ben says is just a number. How do you explain it?
You don't. There's no explaining it, it's just one of the things.
Chip's parents call him an all-around good guy, an avid hunter, an avid biker, and an avid trainer.
I was just proud that he got the chance to go, because he's always dreamed of going.
Next up, the second leg of the Triple Crown, a race the Woolies hope will be another upset.
Ann and Ben say it's been a crazy couple of days for them and for their son, of course. They say Chip has had a great time in Kentucky, but he's exhausted and he's ready to start looking forward. Andy and Faith?